911, what's your emergency? What do you think of when you hear the word emergency? What comes to your mind first? Is it someone having a heart attack? Medical emergency? That's typically what you think of, I guess. You call 911, oh, my father's having a heart attack, or somebody's fallen off of a ladder or something like that. Well, there is a wide, selection of things that you could consider an emergency, a plethora of categories. What I want to do today is to go over emergency plans and what you need, supplies basically, and the different types of emergencies. This won't be all-inclusive. It would be impossible to be all-inclusive, but I want to do an overview as much as possible, as much for myself as for you all, as a review and a reminder to make sure we have certain supplies on hand in case of an emergency. And just like we have homeowners, if you own a home, a car, health insurance, life insurance, you have these things in case of an emergency. For example, I have, with my car insurance, I have a Kia Soul. My car got broken into last year, and praise the Lord, I had car insurance, because the cost to repair, the person that broke into my car and tried to steal it, the repairs cost $2,500, and my deductible was only $100. So praise the Lord. I had no idea my car was going to get broken into, but I had car insurance for the purposes of the what ifs. What if I get into a car accident? You have health insurance. Well, what if I get pneumonia and have to go to the hospital? That kind of thing. It's just smart. It's just common sense, logical thinking to be prepared. Okay, now I've had this little brochure for some time. I think I got it from where I used to work. This emergency supply list from the United States Department of Homeland Security. And regardless of how you feel about that organization, they have provided some helpful information that I'd like to go over with you today. Now, their plan is called Ready Campaign. And it says, through its Ready campaign, the U.S. Department of Homeland Security educates and empowers Americans, which I would like to change that to everyone, because I'm not speaking to just Americans. I'm speaking to everyone, because I know some of my viewers are from outside the United States. So we're going to say this information is going to empower everyone that gets this information to take some simple steps to prepare for and respond to potential emergencies, including natural disasters and terrorist attacks. I'm going to pause there from reading their information and come on over and just list some of these possible emergencies. Of course, we know natural disasters, hurricanes, tornadoes, floods, earthquakes, fires, blizzards. As far as certain attacks, there's the potential for an EMP, which is an electromagnetic pulse, that would take out, depending on the type of EMP and the power that it has, it would take out a range, a certain mileage range of a city within a state, their power, everything, not just power. It would take out cell phones, vehicles, that has any kind of electronic equipment in it. Now, if you had a really old antique car, it would still work, but an EMP would take out everything. You would be without anything. Of course, there's also the potential for direct attacks on our utility systems, which there's already been hints and tests done within the United States on our certain water and sewer plants, as well as internet. But there could be, like what I'm saying is like a, a cyber event that they could take out, cell service, internet, our utilities, and that would really absolutely debilitate us. That would be devastating. And I don't think we'd realize the extent until something like that was to actually happen. So that's why we have to think ahead and to be prepared. It's like, okay, anyway, let me go on. Let me finish what we're the reading, and then we'll get to the other stuff. Okay, now the Ready campaign, it asks individuals to do 3 key things. Get an emergency supply kit, make a family emergency plan, and be informed about the different types of emergencies that could occur and their appropriate responses. Everyone should have some basic supplies on hand in order to survive for at least 3 days if an emergency occurs. Following is a list of some basic items that every emergency supply kit should include. However, it's important that individuals review this list and consider where they live and the unique needs of their family in order to create an emergency supply kit that will meet these needs. Individuals should also consider having at least 2 emergency supply kits, one full kit at home and a smaller portable kit in their workplace, vehicle, or other places they spend time. Okay, now we're going to go over just they have 2 different lists. These are the recommended items to include in a basic emergency kit. Okay, water, 1 gallon of water per person per day for at least 3 days for drinking and sanitation. Food, at least a 3-day supply of non-perishable food. I personally would recommend 1 week to 1 month. I will throw in here that April 8th we know is the total solar eclipse, and there have been several states that have already declared a state of emergency in preparation for this eclipse, and the masses of people that are going to be coming to these particular cities in the path of the total solar eclipse. And some of the reasoning is just on the consumer part of it. If there's going to be millions of people coming into this pathway, there are going to be that many more people buying groceries, getting gas. So there's fears that they'll run out of gas. So they're recommending, and I recommend as well, my mother and I, we never allow our gas to get below half a tank. I would, even now in these days, I wouldn't let it get below 3/4 of a tank, but that's just my personal recommendation. Always keep a full tank of gas, because you never know what could happen, that you can't get out and get gas, or the gas stations run out of gas. And even now, occasionally, we'll go to Sam's and they'll be out of gas. I mean, it just depends on the situation. So keep your gas tanks full. All right, back on down here. Oh, and what I was going to say is the states of emergency that's been declared, they're telling people to have at least 1 to 2 weeks of food and water and supplies in preparation of this event, of the eclipse event. Just not knowing if grocery stores run out of food, all that kind of stuff. They need to have some stock at home. They just need to be prepared. Just not knowing exactly how things are going to play out. Okay, now power. The next item on the list is battery powered or hand crank radio, and an NOAA weather radio with tone alert and extra batteries for both. I bought this several years ago, and this is a solar powered radio, and flashlight. I just tested it a little bit ago, and I haven't powered it up in a long time. And the flashlight, you can see it is still going. The radio, I don't have it on a channel, but you can, where's the volume? Oh, anyway, let me turn it off. It's got a radio. It's got the antenna. It has, I have to figure out how to do this clasp. I hadn't messed with it. And it's a hand crank as well. So if it's cloudy, of course I've heard these are really hard and you have to crank it a long time. But you can see it's charging over here. See it lighten up. All right. Enough of that. I also want to add, when you buy these kind of products, don't throw away the directions. This is dirty because I spilled something on it when I first got it, but keep the directions for these kind of products so you can have all of the instructions on how everything works. Just a suggestion there, helpful tip. Okay, flashlight and extra batteries. Look at all the flashlights I have. This is the only one that I have batteries in. This is my go-to. See how strong that thing is. Now, all of these I got at the Dollar Tree. Okay. These I need to go through. In fact, almost every time I would go to the Dollar Tree. Of course, I don't have income now, so I haven't even been doing that. Oops. Oh, sorry. See, I have two that I haven't even opened yet. Flashlights are just a must to have. The power goes out a lot here at this house, in this area. So I always keep flashlights close by. These, I need to change the batteries out. That's one thing. They say flashlights, extra batteries. What I would like to add is periodically, I would say annually, maybe when you check your smoke alarms and change the batteries in your smoke alarms, check the batteries in your flashlights and make sure they're not expired or corroded. I would maybe even go ahead and just change them out to make sure they're always fresh and ready for use, okay? And I also have, and these are how I keep my batteries, in a Ziploc bag. Never store batteries loose in a bag. Always keep them in the package they come in. Never have batteries just loose or all stacked or piled together in a container. Because if you do, here's two batteries. If they were to just be touching any of these ends, it could start a fire, spark and start a fire. I remember seeing a news story one time, and it just really is like, I've never forgotten that a man just threw all of his expired batteries into a box in his garage, and it started a fire, burned their house completely down. So I was going to look up the proper way to dispose of batteries, and I'm sure the right way isn't to throw them away, but that's what I do because I only throw one or two away at a time. But always get tape, whether it's Scotch tape, masking tape, whatever tape you have. Before you throw away or dispose of batteries, always tape over both ends of the battery so it will not touch another battery or start a fire at all. Please do that. And again, do not stack batteries together unless they're covered, unless you do have all the ends covered, and then you'll be all right. But there is a proper way to dispose of the batteries, and I haven't looked that up. If I look it up, I'll try to put a link or something to help y'all know the proper way to dispose of it. I have another flashlight here, solar powered. Oops, this is the solar panel here. And let me see. The brand of this, I think I got this on Amazon. It was several years ago. It's a Scorpion. I'm sure any of them are okay. You can look at the reviews, although it's hard to know what reviews to trust these days. But this one is a fighter flare. Fighter flare. There's this end right here, and I'd get a couple. I don't have one in my car. I got two and gave one to my nephew, and then I kept one. This is an end that will bust out a car window. If by chance you were to fall off of a bridge into a river or a lake, then you could get your way out with this. Although I read this or heard it somewhere the other day, that if you were to find yourself in that situation, do not bust out a side window or roll them down. Take your headrest off if you're able to. I would even test now to see if you can do that. And then the sharp pointy end that goes down into the seat, crawl to the back of your car, bust out the back window, hit it, kick it out with your feet if you're able. And because the way the car is, the back will always be like floating up first. The engine part, the front part, will go down into the water first. So, and the back window is made to be able to kick out safely. So, but anyway, there's this, and it could also be a weapon just to bang on to get somebody. This right. Okay, guys, I'm going to insert this right here because I forgot. I got to the end of the video, finished it, and remembered that I forgot something. So, I watched a video recently, a day or two ago, and they said the categories to prepare is food, water, medical, and self-defense. Okay, or defense, or however he said it. And I forgot to mention, some of you probably saw my video. Of course, self-defense and protection of your family, there's different types of ways of doing that. I mean, some people own different types of weapons, whether it be a gun or a knife, bow and arrow, if you hunt, all that different kind of stuff. I'm not comfortable, and again, I'm not anti gun ownership whatsoever. I'm all for it, but I just am not comfortable handling one myself. So I did a video recently where I bought a stun gun, a little stun. It's a flashlight. That's the off position. The first up is a flashlight. The up all the way. There's a button right here. Stun gun. This is what I'm comfortable with. I wanted a cane. They make canes that have a stun little thing at the end, but they're more than I could afford, and I had a gift card for just so much, so I was able to get this. These may not be legal in your country or in your particular state. I would research and find out if a stun gun is legal. It is. I live in Georgia. It is legal to carry a stun gun. I checked before I bought it. So that's what I'm having. I carry in my purse. We're living in a crazy world. America is just, and I want to throw this in here, that little Athens, Georgia girl, the Lake and Riley. I wonder if she had one of these, if she'd still be alive today. She tried to call 911, but the guy wouldn't let her get to, do her phone. But if she had this and it was on and she was just pressing that, she would have touched his body somehow with this stun part. And it would have laid him out long enough for her to run and get away. She was a runner. So consider, if you're like me and you can't stand the thoughts of having a gun in your hand, this is a different kind of gun that would just be enough to throw somebody off their feet so that you could get away, but not kill them. You know what I'm saying? So consider a self-defense mechanism, whatever form is best for you and your family. But I encourage doing it. This is not the horse and buggy days. We are living in the end times, and it is rough, and it's only going to get worse. So again, not to be afraid, but just protect yourself. There's nothing wrong with protecting yourself. Thank you. Moist towelettes, garbage bags, and plastic ties for personal sanitation. I would like to add like a bucket or a pail that you could put the bag in so that you could sit on the pail or the bucket. It would make it easier than squatting. Some people have bad knees, so just keep that in mind. Something to use the potty in, basically. Wrench, because if you got to think of everything, if there's no power, if the water processing plants are shut down or attacked, they can't clean the water. There'll be all the water processing plants will be just shut down. You'll have no fresh water. And I say fresh lightly because we don't drink tap water, but you wouldn't even have water to flush the toilets. And it would be a really bad situation. So that's what they're referring to there, to having to use the bathroom in a bucket or something like that if you can't flush toilets. Okay, wrench or pliers to turn off utilities, which that's always recommended if power goes completely out. Some things you need to make sure they're off, like gas water heaters. You don't want. Anyway, some of y'all I'm sure are more educated on all of that than me. Next on the list is can opener for food. If the kit contains canned food and doesn't have some of them all have that pop top that you don't need a can opener, but you may need one. Okay, everybody, the phone shut off because I had to go in and delete some videos to make more room. The last item on the list was local maps, if you didn't catch that. Okay, now the next list they have is additional items to consider adding to an emergency supply kit. Okay, prescription medications and glasses. Of course, if you have contacts and solution and all that. Infant formula and diapers. And I would add any other supplies you need for your baby. Pet food and extra water for your pet. And if you're going to be home and you have a cat, you'll want to make sure you have some extra cat litter, that kind of thing. Excuse me. Important family documents such as copies of insurance policies, identification, which I would say like Social Security, passports, anything like that, driver's license, bank account records, and a waterproof. Excuse me, I just drank some soft drink. Okay, and you want to have all of that in a waterproof portable container. You'll want to have cash or traveler's checks and change. And they say that, I'm sure, because, if the power is down and nothing is working, then, they're saying cash because you couldn't use, your credit card or anything like that, which, of course, I know that they're pushing for a cash-free society, so that will change with time, but for now, think of other ways to pay. And, at some point, there may even be, in the transition of things in an emergency, a barter system. You may have something somebody else wants, and they may have something that you want that y'all could trade. Just something to keep in mind. Okay, you'll want emergency reference material, such as a first aid book or information from, it says www.ready.gov. Okay, you'll want, in a cold weather climate, you're going to want a sleeping bag or warm blanket for each person. Consider additional bedding. Okay, if you live in cold weather condition, consider additional bedding. Of course, you're going to want hats and gloves and all that stuff. And there is a company, I can't remember the name right now. I'll post it up here. I'll have it in the description box where you can, and they also have, where you can buy, there's available like heat packs that you can activate, that you can put in gloves, put in your hat, or put in your socks, and to kind of help keep you warm. That may be something to consider. If you have no heat, if there's no power, you don't have any central heat that you can keep warm, that would be something to consider. In a hot climate, though, of course, it depends on where you are in the world and what time of the year this was to happen. If you're in a hot climate, then you're going to want to make sure you have cool clothes, and you're going to want, like me, I'm heat intolerant. So and the power has gone out here in the middle of summer when it's been excruciatingly hot. I have this portable fan. I have two of them. My mother gave me hers. It's not electric. There's the little charge port right there. You charge it up with your USB port. The other day I charged both of these up, so I'm ready for a power outage. There's 3 settings, low, medium, and high, and I have the instruction booklet still, and this one's called Cool Fans, but there's different varieties. I got these at Walmart. You can find them online, and you can put it around your neck and position it, and I have slept with this sucker around my neck, and it's been a life changer and saver. I'm telling you, if you're heat intolerant in any way, I mean, this is a must-have, y'all. And you could also sit it on the table. Sit it on a table in front of you or your family and put it whatever direction you need it to go. So I recommend this highly. There's also, and I have featured this on my channel. Okay, I found it. A cooling bandana. It's a neck wrap. It's got the polymer crystal technology in it. None of the names of companies or brands or anything I'm giving you are sponsored. No promotions, no sponsorships. I'm getting no money whatsoever. These are just things that I use and have purchased. Okay, so you soak this in water and it swells up, and then you wear it around your neck, your wrist, your head, and it keeps you cool. These are amazing. I use these. I bought several of these. They're very affordable. They're only like $2 a piece. Okay. Again, it's the same company that I said they have the heat packs too. I really recommend going to this company. There's probably others, but I don't think they're going to be as affordable as this one. So just a suggestion. I'll have that listed in the description box for you to check out. Okay, so that's ways to keep cool is the fan and like neck wraps like that. You're going to want to have a complete change of clothing, including long sleeve shirt, long pants, sturdy shoes, and it says consider additional clothing if you live in a cold weather climate. And of course I want to add, if you're living in a hot climate, make sure you have cool clothing. I would add, they don't have it here, make sure you have sunscreen if you're in a hot climate. I mean, especially, let me show you, I was in the sun. I sat in the sun. I met some friends for lunch last weekend, and we were out. I didn't know we were going to sit outside, so I had no sunscreen on. I don't know if you can see. Oh, you kind of can in this lighting. I have got, and it's several days later, I still have a bunch of sun poisoning. So you definitely need some sunscreen. Just wanted to throw that out there. Keep that in mind. Even in the cold weather, because even in the sun can glare off of snow, or, I mean, the sun is the sun no matter what temperature it is. So you want to be careful. Household chlorine bleach and medicine dropper. When diluted 9 parts water to 1 part bleach, bleach can be used as a disinfectant. Or in an emergency, you can use it to treat water by using 16 drops of regular household liquid bleach per gallon of water. 16 drops of household liquid bleach per gallon of water. Do not use all the bleach with the extra stuff. The scented, the color safe, they have the splash proof, that really thick bleach. You don't want to use any of that. Just the regular, plain, old-fashioned regular bleach. Okay. I would say keep some empty gallon bottle. If you use gallon water, keep the empty bottles so that you can fill up with tap water. I would even keep some tap water bottles, gallon jugs filled with tap water to use to maybe help flush the toilets if you need to use it, or wash your hands or something like that. Or even drink if you really got in a bad situation and all of your bottled water or anything that you have that's you've purchased a drink is gone, then you could put bleach in that tap water that you've been storing in the jugs and drink it. It would make it safe. Okay, other things, extra things on the list: fire extinguisher, matches. They don't have candles on this list, but I would add candles. If you're going to be at home, you definitely want candles and matches. I've got big containers of matches, little container. I've got plenty of matches, and you want to put them in a waterproof container as well. You'll want, next on the list, feminine supplies and personal hygiene items. That's kind of self-explanatory. I would like to add like baby wipes, like if you have to, toilet paper or baby wipes, Kleenex, to clean yourself when you go to the bathroom, wet wipes, if you don't have soap or running water to maybe wipe your hands. And they make bathing, like cleaning cloths, like wet wipes. You pull it out and then you wipe, freshen up, clean your body. That might be something good too if the water sewage plants aren't working and you're not able to, you don't have any running water to take showers or baths. I'm trying to hurry because time's a ticking and I don't want to make this too terribly long. Next on the list is mess kits. Paper cups, plastic plates and plastic utensils, paper towels. That's, of course, if there's no running water, you're not going to be able to wash dishes, so you're going to need some disposable eating utensils and stuff. They say paper and pencil or pen, I would say. You never know what kind of notes or directions or anything you may need to write. And for if you have children, you're going to, maybe have books, games, puzzles, other activities, for children to keep them occupied, because they won't have, if the cell towers are down and all that good kind of stuff, they just may not have their digital games and the phones and iPads and all that stuff. And it's not going to be a pretty day when that happens. So you're going to need to have some things on hand to keep them busy. And they won't have the cartoons and different movies to keep them busy. So just some things to put in your mind. I would say this weekend, Monday, today is Friday the 5th, Friday, April 5th, Saturday, 7th, yeah. Monday the 8th is the eclipse. And of course, this isn't just for that. This is for any kind of emergency. But I would say check all of your cabinets, check all of your emergency supplies and the things that we went over, and make sure that your batteries are not expired, that you have a good supply of everything we went over. Just see what it is that you need to add to your supply list, change out, refresh, add to, whatever. Make sure you have, plenty of food and water, all that good stuff. I just have felt for several days I've been wanting to do this, and I just have not honestly had the energy to do it. I've been completely zapped doing some personal things that I need to do, just regular household activities, laundry, grocery shopping, and that just, it's like running a marathon for me with fibromyalgia. It totally wipes me out. So I've finally doing this today, and please review this list. If you need to watch this video again, do so. Share, and of course you can get this complete list at the Homeland Security website, the ready.gov, and I encourage you to please make sure. And of course, everybody is going to be in a different financial and living situation. Some people may live on a 10-acre farm. Some people that may live in a studio apartment the size of my bedroom, like in New York City and stuff like that. We're all in different situations financially and in living situations and our family sizes. Do the best that you can with what you have, with the space and money and what you're able to acquire. And pray. I would say a Bible needs to be added to that list too. You need spiritual nourishment as much as you need physical nourishment. So Get to it, everybody, and make sure that you're prepared. And this is not to be afraid. I have no fear whatsoever, but it's just common sense. It makes sense just to be prepared for the what ifs. It's not out of fear. It's just you want to take care of your families and your pets and everything. And this is just, it's just common sense. Okay? I love you all. Thank you all so much for watching. If you're new to the channel, would you please go and subscribe? Hit that notification bell so that won't miss any of the new content that I put out. And if you have anything to add to the list that we've got here, any helpful advice or tips, please put them in the comments below, or feel free to email me. I'll put the email on the screen and you can find it in the description box below. Thank you all so much for joining me. I hope you have a blessed day in the Lord. And until we meet again, God bless you all. In Jesus' name, amen.